What's up everybody, Shadow Ninja here, and welcome back to another Rage Quit video as we are yet again talking about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is going to come out later in the year. And the reason why we are talking about this gameplay, this particular Kashyyyk gameplay that the professional player went through and completed on his own so that he could showcase what the game is like. The reason why we are talking about it again is, if you guys haven't already noticed, there is some new footage that has been released, and yes, it is the extended version of the level on Kashyyyk. It's not the entirety, but it definitely does show what happened previously and what led up to what we were given at the EA Play. And as you guys can obviously see, we get to do some awesome stuff in the beginning. We get to sneak around a walker, we get to climb up the AT-AT, and then we get to infiltrate it, take it over, and then we blast our way until Saw Gerrera actually knows who we are. We introduce ourselves, and then we find out that we are trying to save the Wookiee resistance fighter known as Tarful. Sound familiar? I was definitely thinking that maybe we would be introduced to Chewbacca and we would actually show how he got off Kashyyyk, but I guess Solo did a little bit of a better job with that. It said that the Empire came in, stole him, made him a slave, pawned him off, and made him like a beast pit monster that everybody would be punished by getting thrown in, and Chewbacca would eat them. But anyway, we find out what's going to happen to Tarful, or we might get to find out what's happening to him. He is now captured by the Imperials, or at least a Wookiee that knows where he is captured by the Imperials, and that is the whole reason why Cal and his BD droid are going in and going to Kashyyyk in the first place. It's really cool how we can see the different takedowns and the different ways that this professional player approaches things, and this game feels like there are, like I said before, there are multiple different ways of fighting enemies and multiple different ways of dealing with them, so there definitely is replayability, and I feel like that this game is going to have like a Tomb Raider approach, where the game is going to be completely multiplayer, or completely single player, from start to finish. It's going to have a strict campaign, a linear campaign, but when you beat it, you're going to be able to go back and forth to different planets, and I'm going to tell you why. Because in a part of the mission, when Cal actually gets to go into a ship, yes, there is a hub area, kind of like in the Force Unleashed, where you, as Starkiller, in between missions would go on your ship and make upgrades to your lightsaber, walk around, talk to characters. Of course, I'm talking about the PlayStation 2 version. I'm not really sure if you got to do it in the Xbox or PlayStation 3 version, but I know in the PlayStation 2 version, you got to walk around your ship and talk to Juno and talk to Rom Koda and Proxy. You got to upgrade your weapons, change your costumes, replay missions, go back to different planets, and more. And I feel like this game is going to have that similar approach, because when Cal goes onto a ship, he opens up like a little hologram, and it shows an entire map of the galaxy of all the playable areas that he can go. And it seems that Cal can go to not only Kashyyyk, but other maps as well that are labeled in a question mark. They don't want to spoil it too much. But there have been some rumors that you get to go back to Megiddo or maybe Felucia. I think that they're going to do a lot of Clone Wars heavy stuff, considering that this game does take place a little bit after Revenge of the Sith, but a little bit before Rogue One. So the Empire is kind of like in this awkward place where they're getting rid of their clone troopers and turning them into purge troopers and training them to kill Jedi, and they are also reimbursing their army with new stormtroopers that are recruited. They're just simple guys, and they're changing their weaponry. As you can see in this mission, you see that the rebels also have clone LAATs, and they fly around, and it's really cool. And at first, when I saw this mission, I thought maybe there was going to be a clone versus stormtrooper uprising. I'm always hoping that they could do something with the clones versus stormtroopers, but as you can see on the screen right now, we get to take place in an epic battle where we are piloting an AT-AT, and we just storm through the entire Imperial base on Kashyyyk, and then finally we get blown up and beaten down. But that's okay though, because that basically starts up the open mission, and I think at the beginning of this gameplay, it was the very beginning of the mission, and okay, I'm probably getting off topic, but back to the hub area. The hub area shows different places that you can go to, and of course you get to choose whatever you want to go to, so you could always possibly go back and forth between planets. And also there is an upgrade system with BD. Yes, there are crafting tables throughout the entire area, or at least one, as we get to see in a few short minutes, that you get to put BD on the table. You enhance his his robot with an upgrade of your choice, I guess, or something that pertains to what you have to do, an obstacle you have to get through to progress in the level, and I think that's going to be the replayability of the game. The fact that you get to upgrade your droid, and the droid is going to open up different pathways for you to explore. And of course, you have your little mini-map. Cal brings up a mini-map, and it shows the entire area of Kashyyyk, and there are different ways of going through, and different paths that you can take throughout the entire game. And I think that's really cool that they're just going to stick with campaign, and they already said there's not going to be a DLC, there's no multiplayer, there's absolutely no multiplayer aspects, and that kind of bummed me out at first because I thought it would be really cool to maybe do a survival mode with friends, or maybe if they wanted to go the Marvel Spider-Man route and do a couple DLCs, put them in a pack, and then a season pass would be okay with maybe new skins, new lightsaber colors, I don't know, something, new skins for your droid, or maybe new force powers, but no, this game is literally just going to be what it is, and I think if they're taking the route that Tomb Raider's doing, because I know in Tomb Raider, once you beat the game, you could always go back to each individual area, and considering you have newer upgrades that you didn't have before, there was always stuff for you to unlock, new collectibles to obtain, and new tombs to go in and figure out. But I don't think it's going to be to this extent. I think it's probably most likely going to be a one and done thing, unless you want the tedious collectibles and maybe some of the better upgrades in the game, but it's all based on how you upgrade your droid throughout the campaign. I really wish we got to see a little bit more of Cal's upgrades. Maybe you could upgrade his lightsaber, because the developers did say that the lightsaber develops with Cal as the game progresses on. I don't know physically if it's going to progress, or maybe his lightsaber combat styles are going to change up a little bit, because as you see, even now with this precursing gameplay that led up to what we saw at E3, Cal is very wishy-washy with the lightsaber, as I said before, similar to how Rey is in The Force Awakens. And that is completely justified, because Cal is just a Padawan. He even says to Saw Gerrera that his master gave him the lightsaber. I'm not sure if maybe the master is dead, or if he or she is undercover, because Cal also has a companion with him, and she tells him that her job is to guide him, not try to control everything he does and all the choices he makes. And yes, Cal does have a couple friends along the way, not just BD, but he also has this weird four-armed creature, and of course the lady that I just talked about. That's basically your crew on the ship, similar to how in The Force Unleashed you had Proxy, Juno, and Ram Koda. Now you have BD, this other character, and the four-armed alien, which is really cool. I knew that from the beginning of the game that we were going to have more allies, and Saw Gerrera being in the game, I was very surprised at that, because I thought, Saw Gerrera, since he was in Rebels and since he was in Rogue One, he was kind of done. But now Saw Gerrera is like a resistance fighter, and he's on Kashyyyk for an unknown reason with a rebel task force, and that is basically why we're here, so that we can go in, infiltrate the facility, release a Wookiee prisoner that knows about Tarful's whereabouts, and find him for an unknown reason. Maybe he has some key intel on the Empire or whatever. I don't really know. But I do know that the gameplay wasn't really expanded upon a whole lot, but game mechanics were, such as you get to actually talk to your companions, and you get to choose what you say, similar to how in Titanfall you had two options, and each option really didn't matter. It was just two different dialogues. And the fact that you can go into your ship and you can actually choose different places to go. And it seems like you could do this at any time. So you can start a mission on Kashyyyk, and then if you don't feel like going on Kashyyyk anymore, you can just go onto your little mini-map and choose a different planet. And each planet has a different story. I just hope that it's not just 5 planets, or maybe they're going to have like different galaxies with maybe like 5 or 6 planets per galaxy. But I definitely hope that this game isn't too short. I want some replayability, as I think if they're going the Tomb Raider route, it's going to be how it is. I'm not really sure, but at the same time, I don't want to be one and done with this game. I kind of want to keep going back and keep playing this game, keep getting stronger, similar to how I did in Marvel Spider-Man and Batman Arkham Knight. When, of course, those were open world games, but the fact that you could go in and you could keep playing the same type of missions and keep getting different outcomes, that would be really cool to see. And the fact that you could upgrade your droid and with all these weird capabilities, and they have yet to even tell us what happens with Cal and his lightsaber, his customization, his force powers, any of that stuff, how we can get them, how we can make them stronger. That is yet to be said, but of course, guys, this is only a demo. But guys, these were my new impressions of the enhanced or enlarged demo of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. But I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure you like it. It helps out a lot. And if you're new to the channel and you aren't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. But guys, I'm Shadow Ninja, and you've just watched a Rage Quit episode about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the new demo. Thank you for watching, and as always, I will see you on the next one.